My dear students, after finishing the reflection of light in science, and we are going to move to the next chapter, and this is human eye and the colorful world. Human eye and the colorful world. So let me first explain eye. This is an eye. Okay, you must be knowing eyes are very important organ of human body, because without eyes we cannot see the outer world, and eyes help us to see the things. If this is a pen, we are able to see this pen because we have eyes. But do you know how do our eyes function? I think we should know how do our eyes function. So let me first explain the different I have made the different parts of our eyes here, of our eye here. So I will explain one by one. Okay, so let me first explain this part. Okay, this part you can see here. Okay, here is a black spot inside, and this outer part, this part is known as the iris. This part is known as iris. This part is known as iris. Okay, you can see the different human being have different color of their eyes. Some having brown colored eyes, some having blue colored eyes, some having light brown colored eyes. So how does this happen? This is because of, this is not the color of the eye, this is the color of this iris. This is the color of this iris. The color of iris, the color of iris is the color of the eye. Okay, if the color of iris is brown, the eyes looks like brown. If the color of iris is blue, like light blue or whatever, the eyes looks blue at that time. Okay, so why does this iris look different? Because there is a pigment. There is a pigment in iris. There is a pigment, pigment. There is a pigment in this iris. In this iris there is a pigment, and this pigment reflect the color of light. Let's say the light rays are entering here. This is iris na. If the light rays are entering, so this, in this, at this time, the iris, the pigment of this iris, the pigment of this iris is reflecting the green color. That's why this iris looking like green. If the light rays are just incidenting white light rays, these are the white light rays. Okay, if the white light rays and incident on this iris, and if the pigment in the iris reflect brown color, if the pigment in the iris reflect brown color, then this iris looks like brown, or the brown colored eyes we can say. Okay, so this is basically the color of this iris. Okay, and the, in all the human beings, the iris reflect different color. The pigment in the iris reflect different color. Okay, some having brown color, because the pigment in this iris reflecting brown colored light. Okay, so when the white light incident on this iris, at this time the white light incidenting on this iris, and this iris, the pigment of this iris reflecting green color, and this iris looking like green. Okay, this iris is looking like green right now. Okay, now you can see a black spot here. This is the black spot in between. You can see a black spot, this spot. Okay, what is this spot? This is nothing, this is basically a hole. This is the hole. Through this hole the light rays are entering inside. Okay, and the other part, this part is known as the iris. This part reflect the light. This part reflects the light outside, and the hole, through this hole the light rays are entering inside, and this hole is known as, this hole is known as pupil. This hole is known as pupil. Pupil. This hole is known as pupil, and through this pupil the light rays, some of the light rays are entering inside and making the image of the outer world. If there is a pen, like this is a pen, the pen you are able to see, because the light rays, or some light rays are reflected by the, through the, by this iris, and some light rays from this pen are entering through this pupil inside our eye and making the image here, and we are able to see the pen here. Are you getting it? So this way we are able to see it. Okay, so this hole is known as the pupil. This hole is known as pupil. Now there is a more function of iris, one more function of iris. The function of iris is to control the size of the pupil. This pupil is like it is, this time it is shorter, so it controls the size. It control the size is in two way it is controlling. Sometime it is making the pupil larger, sometime this iris making the pupil larger, or sometime it, the iris is making the pupil shorter. When it will make the pupil larger, the iris will make the pupil larger, means we will expand the iris. Are you getting it? The iris the iris will expand the pupil, the iris will expand the size of the pupil. Okay, when it will expand the size of the pupil? Because suppose let's say here are more and more light rays are entering here. Okay, if this hole is bigger, if this hole is bigger, if this hole means this pupil is bigger, so all the light rays will enter inside our eyes. Here is our eyes, na? Here is our, here is inside, means all the light rays will enter inside, and all these light rays, if these all light rays are entering inside, they can damage our eye, they can damage our eye. So this is how at this time the iris will contract, the iris will contract this pupil, the iris will contract this pupil like this. And if there are more and more light rays, more and more lights, only some of the light rays will enter inside. Like in the daytime, in the daytime you can see, if you look towards the sun, more and more light rays will come towards you, and you contract your eyes. Because why you are contracting? Because your iris is contracting the size of the pupil, size of the pupil, and the number of light rays which are entering are lesser. Okay, and your eyes are protected. Are you getting it? Now if like in the evening time, in the evening time, in the evening time, the light rays are lesser in number. So if the size of the pupil is like this, so light rays will, the light rays which are entering inside, then their number of light rays will be lesser now. So you need more and more size of the pupil now. So at this time, this iris will expand the size of the pupil like this, and more light rays will enter, and we can see the images of the outside world. Okay, so this way, this is the function of the iris. Okay, so I have written here also function of the iris. First one, it reflect the light. Reflect the light means, like in this case it is reflecting the green color, so this iris color is looking like green. So this is the first function. Second function is, it control the size of the pupil. It control the size of the pupil. Size of the pupil, how? In the daytime, when light is more, it is expanding the pupil, and in evening time, when the light amount of light is less, so it is contracting the pupil. So in two ways, the iris controls the pupil. Okay, so this is the function of our iris. You can write it, or you can make the figure also, you can write it also, you have to write it. Okay, now what are the function of the pupil? Function of the pupil is what? This is the hole through which light rays enter inside our eyes. This is the hole through which light rays enter inside our eyes, and images of the outer world are made. Outer world, like pen is here, so image of this pen will be made here from, because the light rays through this hole are entering inside. So this is how we will write the function of the pupil and the function of the iris. Okay, stay tuned. Bye bye.